can't take off the deal, Mom.
Come down and stay the night, either Friday or Saturday after Christmas. To like, get a couple of people together, go somewhere like that for dinner. And then I thought maybe stop at River County afterwards. Yeah, 'cause she doesn't. No, we don't know, but she's here.
Wait, we finally got her.
Council, we're at 29 to get those lights screened.
And they called us this morning and Dorothy was part of my day. You want to talk? I'm going to turn it over to you for approval. Yeah, so you just need to make a motion to say, motion to adjust the agenda to add whatever crazy dogs in our house right now.
Are we good on AV? All right.
Got a new device for cleaning our cat. Steam cleaning, brushing urine. It's perfect.
All right, so everybody in chambers, the clock has hit 6:30, and I want to begin with Pledge of Allegiance. I want to thank everybody in the chambers for joining this evening's meeting and to those tuning in via our virtual broadcasts. And at this time, I'd like to turn over to Clerk Tomasic to call roll.
Schumate,
Here.
Cox,
Here.
McNabb,
Here.
Mulner,
Here.
Valentine,
Here.
Wood.
Here.
Fantastic. Council, we are missing our Councilwoman Cosmore, but ultimately with the resignation, do we need to acknowledge anything there? Great. So with that, it'll take us to no absent members to be excused. We will move to our approval of agenda. Council and members in public, in front of you, you will see the agenda for this evening and be looking to either approve the agenda or adjust for any additions.
Okay, I want to add, I want to bring up the open council position so that we can move forward with that tonight. So I want to put that on there to discuss.
Great. Do you have a preference on where that sits within the agenda?
No? Doesn't matter?
We can put it under your council report if you like, and that way we can hit it at that point in time.
Okay.
So,
That's fine.
so we just need a motion, Councilwoman Wood, for open council position, which would fall under council report B.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by McNabb, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Cox. Any further discussion? Great. I just want to add one thing. I know we had discussed at our last council meeting the receive and file of Councilwoman Cosmore's resignation. I know council had expressed we're sending a lot of love to Councilwoman Cosmore and her family, especially her mother at this time. I know we had discussed at the time to pass not only council thinking about nominations they may have, but residents who are interested to submit any letters of intent. And we did receive 5 of those that council has in their packet and or printed out for them this evening. So with that being said, Katie, please call roll.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Great, so that will add to Councilwoman Wood's report on open council position. And with that, we have an approved agenda. So with that being said, I would like to now turn it over to our public comment. Are there any members of public that wish to address council this evening? All right, I'm not seeing any public comment at this point. Keep in mind, we have that public comment session towards the end of our agenda this evening as well. That will now turn us over to celebrating 2 special families in our community. I want to call up Robin, if you don't mind. This is item presentations, beautification awards. And I'd like Robin to perhaps tell us a little bit about these awards that we have in front of me this evening before we acknowledge those winners.
Hi, everybody. We have two very different awards this year. We have one that is, the house is very just neat and orderly and everything, every bush and leaf is perfectly placed and clipped and the lawn is perfect. And we have the other one who has a lot of flowers. They're grown, all the annuals are grown from seed and they do a beautiful job. So I hope they're both here tonight. I know Pam is, and I don't know if Michelle made it or not tonight. But anyway, they both won the awards this year. We looked around. There's so many people who have really improved their yards and their houses and things, and it looks great. We really go for the natural look, not somebody coming in and, doing a whole landscape, with a company. So we look forward to just seeing what people have done, what's impressive, and just give them an award for making their homes and Gibraltar beautiful.
Thank you. Well, I'd love for you to remain at the podium while we do these awards. Thank you so much for all that you and the Beautification Commission do for the community. And thank you to these two homes and families for exemplifying beautification. And so with that, I'd like to do the awards. At this time, I would love to call up George and Pam Joseph at 31047 Bayview.
No.
They are not here this evening, but I want to present the plaque to you on behalf. And I would love to be able to meet George and Pam Joseph to shake their hands and give them a hug for the beautification award that they just won. The second award this evening goes to Dennis Romansky and Michelle Eckler, and that's going to be at 13435 Ivy. So please come on up. Congratulations and thank you so much.
Yeah, Dennis, thank you.
Michelle gives Dennis all the credit, so.
Yes.
The front, but she has a beautiful backyard, so.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you so much. Congratulations to our award winners, and thank you again, Robin, and I know Dorothy's our council liaison for beautification.
Tony.
Tony and Flo are also in the room. Do you want to stand up? We'd love to celebrate the beautification. Yes, I love it. All right, thank you so much to Beautification, and again, congratulations to the award winners. Next item on our agenda is going to be our consent agenda. Council, on your agenda and in your packet, you'll see 3 items. Item A, bills reference number 12. Item B, payroll number 924, 925, 926, 927, and 928. And item C, city council minutes of 12/9/2024. Council will be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through C.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Any discussion on the consent agenda this evening?
I have one question, and it's actually not on this one. It was from last week. I had asked Treasurer Fonte, there was a line item for just over $8,000 for Caterpillar, and he had explained to me offline that it was for a repair to a piece of equipment at the DPW yard. And I should have brought it up afterwards during that session, but is there a protocol that we should be following through if there is? I don't recall ever approving that at council, $8,000 expenditure. So I didn't know if that should have been pushed through on a consent agenda, or if there is, as part of our purchasing policy, if we have emergency repairs, what it sounded like it probably was. And if we have those, isn't there a policy to where it comes through for a approval request after the fact, so that we document it appropriately? Just wanted to touch base on that, and I don't know if this was the appropriate spot to bring that up or not, but I seen that last week, and then I failed to bring it up, so I just wanted to bring it up here so we at least touched on it.
Thank you. Mike or Amy, do you want to provide any direction on that item?
Well, it was repair on a Caterpillar backhoe, and we just took it to Caterpillar for the repairs. So
Can you give a little more detail on the circumstance and the approval process or like
The
that?
transmission was out on it, and wouldn't move forward. It wouldn't go anywhere. It was leaking. A few other items on it that needed to be fixed on it too.
And that was our backhoe.
That was our backup.
That's our second
Ours.
backhoe. We have two backhoes.
Yep.
And,
And that's that, if I recall correctly, is being used for lead lines and other projects. Give us a little more detail on the need of the city for that item.
that one right now is used for loading salt
Okay,
during the winter time, but it's also our backup backhoe if our main backhoe goes down. We still have a spare backhoe to be able to do work, otherwise we, wouldn't be able to do anything without renting equipment and costing even more money.
I fully agree that the item needed to be repaired and in useful condition. I know we've harped on our purchasing policy and following the procedures on that for many months now. And just thought that that might not be the type of item that should go through consent agenda in the future.
I think it probably should have been like, I'm trying to find it, I'm sorry, I'm like trying to struggle to find it on my computer, so I apologize, and I still haven't found it.
I've got it here.
Oh, thank you.
And it's not a big deal. I just think that we should have a formality process. If we end up spending something over $1,000 that doesn't get council approval, we should have a separate line item approval for that at the subsequent meeting that we have.
agreed.
And-
If it's
yeah.
department head approved and financially consulted, and
Yeah.
then exceptional need or emergency need, then we have some sort of wraparound with council.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. That's it. Not a huge deal. Just wanted to bring it up and touch on it here since,
I agree.
I concur,
Okay.
yeah.
So
If it's,
let's do that,
sir.
considering policy that we approved on the purchasing front, right? The department head approval, the finance budget approval, for any emergency items that require immediate attention, that at least there's a follow-up at the next council meeting for
Yeah.
approval, should be the,
and I think that'll get caught a little easier once we get our new software in place and stuff is getting flagged.
great call. And that's the BSNA software you're referring to for
Yep.
what, Q1 of next year?
Yes.
Awesome. Good call. Any other discussion on consent agenda? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item on our agenda is going to be communications, for which we do not have any this evening. So that will bring me to my report. I have one item for council this evening. It's a follow-up to our December 9th council meeting discussion. So if you recall, just to kind of rewind the tape, on December 9th was a special day because we appointed our new Director of Public Safety, Bullard, conditional to the execution of your contract. If you recall, we also talked with council about the other steps that would need to come into play to make all of that successful and to make sure our Department of Public Safety and all of our amazing employees have what they need to be successful. And when you think about that, just to kind of calibrate everybody to this situation, DPS Director Bullard, School Resource Officer Trush, there's a promotion proposal for Lieutenant. Detective Robinson would then be in place. School Resource Officer Seifert would remain in the SRO position until the end of the school year in 2025. And a sergeant promotion would be considered for Seifert. And then the transition of the School Resource Officer Seifert's position to Sampson pending the appropriate process and after the close of the school year. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page about the options that council had endorsed last time. What council had tasked us with, aligned with the conditional approval, was working to execute a contract for our Director of Public Safety, Bullard. You can imagine that's the first piece of this whole puzzle, is to make sure we can reach an agreement with you so that the other pieces of this puzzle can fall in place. Councilman Molnar, myself, Mike, Amy, and our city attorney met immediately after the December 9th meeting to get that ball rolling. And we are making progress. A agreement was assembled, and through our city attorney, obviously, and Mike has been the point person that has been working with Director of Public Safety Bullard on the specifics of that agreement. We do not have an agreement that is mutually agreed upon for the review this evening, so I have a proposal for council, because in addition to making sure that first puzzle piece is solidified, because it relates to everything else that needs to happen. Director of Public Safety Bullard had also asked us, what about the promotions or the other pieces of the puzzle, and what's the timeline for that? My recommendation to council, and I just want to make sure we could discuss this, is to allow Mike to continue to work with Director of Public Safety Bullard to lock down his agreement, step one. Once they've reached a mutual understanding on that agreement, tentative for council's review and approval, I would ask that they then segue their discussion to the other pieces of this puzzle, meaning the other promotions or shifts in role and responsibility, and work with Amy every step of the way on the financials for any of those promotions or pieces of the puzzle. I'd love if all of that could work together to then come back to council for their review and approval on our January 13th meeting. That would allow council to review the collective package of agreements, understanding that the parties have had discussions around said agreements, and that council could review and approve those. You might ask, well, there's an element of this that relates to January 1st, because our appointment is conditional of a successful agreement of January 1st. What I would suggest is that once council reviews and approves those agreements on the 13th, that we would retroactive pay from the 1st through the 13th for any agreements that are successfully executed and relevant to that retroactive pay. To me, that seems like the pretty clean path to allow this process to prevail. Obviously, we talked about the timeline considerations and shift scheduling for our Director of Public Safety, let alone the Department of Public Safety. To me, that would be a good way to let the stars align. It would also then, assuming that we are able to reach an agreement, allow us to officially swear in our Director of Public Safety, Bullard, and any other parties that need to be sworn in for their new roles at that 13th meeting, for which we can really properly celebrate those positions, assuming conditional approval with our public and our chambers. So that's the thought I had. I would love any suggestions, comments, feedback on that path, but it seemed like the most reasonable path to get to a structure of continuity and support for our Director of Public Safety as well as his department. Any thoughts or suggestions on that?
I support all those promotions.
Okay. I think council seemed to signal support of those. Obviously, we just need to make sure we work on the financials and the budgets and the union language considerations and all the other factors, and that's why I think Mike is gonna need some time to work with you on that. But the first puzzle piece we need to solidify is you, and everything else could then be pursued. Council, any other feedback for today? Okay. All right, so does that sound like a good plan, Interim Director of Public Safety, Bullard?
January 13th.
Great.
So-
And then, Mike, do you feel set up for success on that path?
I hope so.
Okay. All right, well, obviously, to the extent that, and this is important to me, last thing I'll say, to the extent that anything comes up that you two can't resolve, or Mike, that you feel is deviating from what you feel is guidance you have, you need to alert myself and council. We can call a special meeting if we need to, for which we can discuss any specifics. So that's very important to me. Please do not do this in isolation. If we can't find reasonable agreed upon terms amongst those parties, we need to escalate it to council, and we can call a special meeting at any point in time prior to the 13th. So please do not make those decisions in isolation. Make sure that you flag anything that we need to be aware of.
All right.
Sound good?
Sounds good. Thank
Awesome.
you.
That concludes my report this evening, and I'd like to turn over to our council reports. Councilman Valentine, why don't you kick us up with recreation?
I have no report today.
Short and sweet. Councilwoman Wood, not only do you have beautification and historical museum, but you have the addition of the agenda item.
Okay, starting with, I want to congratulate the award winners. They did a very great job with their yards and landscape, and that does make other people look at what they have in their yard and want to fix it up when they see houses like, both of theirs. They look really nice.
Agreed.
So thank you for that. The second one, I'm gonna bring up the new part second. I just want to mention that beautification does understand what sole source purchasing is. I just want to make that perfectly clear. for the public and anybody else that's listening, because we will be discussing that, I think, at the next meeting. But I just wanted to know, let everybody know that we're aware of that, and we've been doing that, and we follow that. And our treasurer has been at a beautification meeting and discussed the purchasing policy, and that's all I have to say on that subject, because we've always followed it. So we will discuss that at a later date even more. And then the last, what we're adding to this is that I wanted to bring up the open council position, because I know that you said 45 days to put somebody in there, but that's just taking us into the new year. I think that we should be starting the new year out with a full council, because there are a lot of things that we're working on. And to just take the time and use all of that energy and whatever to put in a temporary position is not even a year long. So I would like, actually tonight, because we do have letters and we went through the letters, and I wanted to make a motion and move forward tonight to.
May we have discussion before we motion, or do you?
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? Just so we can
Okay.
talk about it, because I haven't had a
However you
chance to
wanna
talk to
do
any
it.
council about it, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do, was just bring that up, because I think that we need to move forward. We take way too much time to come up with something, and we have too many open items not to move forward, and just to, discuss this over and over and over. That's it, that's all I have to say on that.
I really appreciate it, and then we'll turn it over to council. I want to have a discussion on this. Obviously, we have 5, so just a couple thoughts for me to kick off. I really respect and appreciate the sentiment. I think, for me, it's been a week since we received and filed Councilwoman Cosmore's resignation. Prior to that last meeting on December 9th, and at that meeting on December 9th, I had discussed with all council the thought process that, while charter says we have 45 days to make an appointment, up to, doesn't mean you take 45 days.
Yes, within
That-
45 days.
Exactly. That I thought it would be astute of us to not only take some time to think about our own nominations we might have, but also to allow our public to put forth any letters of intent or express their interest in that. And we all aligned, you, me, council, that we could consider getting those letters in. We let our public know that they had till January 8th to put those letters in so that we could review them and make an appointment on the 14th. So I only say all that because I want to respect those that maybe didn't have time or didn't already submit a letter of intent. I know Katie's received inquiries. People are out of town or have other commitments. It's only been a week since we did discuss that publicly. So I'm not suggesting delaying unnecessarily. I'm just suggesting it's a very serious seat for what is a very important time for our community. I don't want to make a rush decision. I want to make a right decision collectively. And so that's important for me to express, is that I respect where you're coming from. I just don't think that we are delaying anything unnecessarily. We're just giving time according to our agreed upon timeline, which has now changed. So just transparently, you and I spoke today, and you suggested that this be discussed tonight,
Yes.
which would be different than the previous plan we had in place. But I
Yes.
respect that you have the right to do that. So we have 5 letters that have been submitted for us. I know you're about to make a motion. I'm assuming that motion might have been for one of those parties. I just want to make it clear that out of all the letters that we have, I'd love to have a discussion on that as council before we jump into a motion. I know Councilman Valentine had something to say. I'd love to give my comments on the applicants as well.
So my first term at council I was appointed by Mayor Goris after somebody had left, just much like what's going on now. I think it's your appointment. I don't think we should make motions to pick. It's your appointment, and then you tell us who you want to appoint, and then we vote on it then. I don't think another council member should make a motion to appoint somebody,
Yeah, I mean,
especially before January 8th.
I respect that, and I think we've looked into the charter a lot, right? I think while the charter might list I have an appointment right, at the end of the day, any decision requires a council motion
Yeah.
and a second. So I can't take any formal action as an individual. I just want to be clear on that. I do recommend the appointment of Dan, which is one of the 5. Dan, it's one of the 5 letters of intent that we received. I'm just going to tell you why, but I'd like it to be a discussion, at least you can hear from me. I think he brings a lot of very strong qualifications to this position. He's been a Gibraltar resident for 10 years on Adams. I believe he said he was going to be here today, and so he's in the room here today. From a professional capacity, he's an intellectual property practice group leader for Howard and Howard Attorneys. It's a national full-service business law firm with over 140 attorneys across several states. He sits on the board of directors for them, which has exposed him to areas of law and business operations that is atypical for a typical patent attorney. From an education perspective, he has a BS in chemistry, a master's in polymer chemistry, and a law degree. He's licensed to practice law in the state of Michigan and before the United States Patent and Trademark Office. He's got a formal partnership agreement in his personal capacity with the Detroit Public Schools Community District and his 15-week after-school STEM program at underprivileged schools for the last 4 years. I mean, that's just a synopsis. I think he would bring an incredibly strong set of experience and expertise. When he reached out with this letter of intent, I asked him, do you have any professional or personal relationships with council members, for which the answer was no. I think we got 5 letters of intent. I think this is the most qualified individual out of those 5. I have a lot of respect personally and professionally for Justice and other members that have put their letter of intent forward. But I think if I look at what council needs from an experience and expertise point of view, as well as the purity of somebody who I'm not aware of any affiliations, doesn't receive any payroll check from the city in any capacity, I think for me, that would be my appointment recommendation for everybody on this council. And I'd ask you to consider that. And so that's my perspective. And I don't know, Councilman Valentine or any other council members, I'd love to have a discussion before we rush to an appointment.
Okay. Sandy, I don't know if anybody has any questions, but I also feel the same way about Justice Walden. I think that he is a very qualified person for this. He is on our volunteer fire department, but he is willing to quit that to be on council. He has no problem with that. I hate that he would quit our fire department that desperately needs fire people. But that is my choice, and I think that he was very interested in it. He's been interested in it. He's been to meetings. He's discussed a lot of things here about the past police chief. I think he's very well versed, and a lot of people have stated that they like the way he carries himself, and especially when he was up here speaking. So that's what I have to say. So I personally would like to make a motion, if this is the time for that, to put Justice in for the council position. As I said, it's really only temporary. It's not even a year. And I think we should just move forward. Put somebody in here so we can move forward. And I make a motion for Justice.
Okay, we have a motion to appoint Justice to the open council position.
I'd second that motion.
Second by McNabb. Any further discussion from council?
Well, I'm going to can I make another motion, or we got to vote on
Oh,
this?
you have to vote on this
Well,
one.
probably the votes are already in, so there's no point talking about it.
Yeah, I think, I haven't heard
She
any,
called me, so she probably called everybody.
I have significant concerns about this one. What you're saying now is that somebody will quit their role in our fire department for
Well,
the
he's
sake of
willing
it.
to do that, yes. He doesn't have to, but you're mentioning that somebody that doesn't get a Gibraltar paycheck. So, yes, he does get one, but he is willing to give that up.
And
I
you-
personally would not want to see him have to do that, but
And you feel that Justice is more qualified than Dan, my recommendation, for the reasons mentioned?
I do, because he's been involved here. He's been involved with what's been happening at the city. He also lives on Adams. He's been here for a while. I think that he would be an excellent person. And like I said, it's just temporary. When it comes November, anybody can run for that position.
Respectfully disagree. Any other discussion?
My 2 cents here is just that I thought that we were going to struggle to have people that wanted or had interest in this position, given some of the I guess frustrations that we've gone through up here. To see that we have at least 5 people interested is really, really a great thing. So I'm excited that there are 5 people that put their names in, and I'm sure that there are probably even more who are interested in it. But I just think it's great that we have 5 people willing to do it, willing to serve. We've had more and more people showing up to our meetings and participating, and so it's a positive thing. That's just my 2 cents, is that I'm glad that we have people interested in serving in volunteer capacities largely, so.
Yeah, just 2 closing comments from me before we vote. One is, again, I think the sad part for me is that we as council agreed to a timeline, which would be to allow people from this community to put forth their letters of intent or interest through January 8th so that we can make an appointment well within the window, frankly, at the first meeting of the new year, to your new year point, for which is now being contradicted, even though we agreed upon it, to push this activity tonight. And then number two is that I feel like we are sitting here with a more qualified candidate that truly brings more experience and expertise to the role that we need for this council. Again, I have nothing but respect for Justice, but I do not feel that's the right decision for both of those reasons. And it's unfortunate that this is where we're at, but I respect the right of council to make their motion and make their vote. So if there's no further discussions, Katie, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
No.
Valentine?
No.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. We look forward to having Justice on our council. Dorothy, back to you.
The Soul Source, that is it for beautification, and not much happening in the Historical Museum. We still have to put up some of the cabinets and pictures and things on the walls, and that's all I have.
Any questions for Councilwoman Wood?
When's the next historical museum? When is it open again?
It's the first Sunday of the month, so I don't have a January.
Just because it's the holiday, so that's why.
Pardon?
Because the holiday weekend, that's why I was asking.
You know what, I'm still open the first Sunday of every month. I don't change that, because some people are here from out of town on holidays, and they do want to see what's up there, so it's always the first Sunday, from 2 to 4.
Any further questions for Councilwoman Wood? Councilman Cox?
No report.
Any questions for Councilman Cox? Councilman?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Planning Commission and DDA meeting is canceled for tomorrow and pushed back to January due to no items on the agendas, either one.
Great.
Sorry, should have informed that.
Thank you. Any questions for Councilman Cox? Councilman McNabb, talk to us about waterways.
I have no report this time. Thank you.
Councilman Molnar?
No report.
Any questions for either Councilman McNabb or Councilman Molnar? Great. Just to kind of nod to a couple things that will be on your agenda for the 13th of January, with Councilwoman Cosmore's resignation. We talked about the Alliance of Downriver Watershed appointment, as well as the 33rd District Court appointment. Just know that you'll have something in your packet to consider. I'd asked a couple of council members about interest, and I think we have some interest, but those council members want some time to review the expectations of those roles. So just want to give you a heads up. Those appointments should be coming January 13th for your review. All right, great. At this time, we'll turn over to Parks and Recreation Director Goris. Any questions for Parks and Recreation Director Goris? City Attorney?
Hey, one thing, the contract attached to the agenda tonight for the assessor's office is for the 3-year contract. My recollection was though it was changed to 3 months. Is that
It's a
it?
3-month extension.
That was sent in an addition, a supplemental email for the.
Yeah, I
packet.
understand. I just, I want to be certain that council doesn't approve a
Oh.
3-year contract, which is attached versus a 3-month contract, which was supposed to be. Great, so I just want to be clear on that. So if, when we get to Mr. Blackburn, I just want to be clear that the one attached to this agenda is not the one that's going to get approved. It's one that was a supplement. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great flag, appreciate it. Any questions for our city attorney? Well, perfect segue to City Administrator Blackburn.
The only thing I got is it's under unfinished business for the assessor. I can talk about it then, just short. We're just looking for a 3-month extension on the contract so that we can go off for our RFPs for looking for a newer using the same assessing company, whichever one does. But we can take care of that under unfinished business.
Great, so we'll defer that to unfinished business. Any questions for City Administrator Blackburn? Clerk Tomasic?
No report?
No report. Any questions for Clerk Tomasic? Treasurer Fonte is absent this evening. Anything we need to note for Treasurer Fonte? All right, Finance Director McEwen.
Okay, my first item, we voted on two items that kind of changed the Gibraltar Fire Department wage scale. So I took the original one that was voted on and added revisions for what was voted on. I did it in red. I would like us to receive and file it so that we have that on file.
Council will be looking for a motion to receive and file the updated 2024 Gibraltar Fire Department wage scale reflecting revisions from our last discussion.
Motion to receive and file?
Motion by Cox. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion? Amy, just thank you for the work you're doing there. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Katie, please call roll.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood. Yes. Cox,
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Motion carried. Back to you.
Okay, the next item was Vince had suggested that we have a budget calendar for the upcoming fiscal year. So I kind of put one together. So this is my first year doing this. So there might be adjustments throughout, but I wanted a motion to adopt this.
I love it. Council, just for background, we had obviously kind of tried to make our budget planning timeline as robust as possible. So like if you recall last cycle, we done like a strategic presentation with a little bit of the guiding principles and like call outs, and then wanted to have more of a calendarized timeline for everybody's involvement, including meetings with council and department heads. So thank you, Amy, for pulling that through.
No problem.
Council, we'd be looking for your motion. And that would be to adopt the proposed budget calendar for full year 25-26.
Motion to approve the budget timeline as outlined by the finance director.
Motion by Cox, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion?
The, when these are given to department heads at the very beginning, can we get a copy for council on the 27th of January so that we have an opportunity to look at them at that point as well?
I could do that, but I would suggest maybe doing it after, like, department heads have had a chance to write on it. That way you guys can see, like, what they're suggesting as well as what was originally on it.
Okay.
I mean, I could do either or, whatever you want. But,
Well, so when they're given these worksheets, are they pre-populated based on the previous year or?
yes,
Okay.
they're gonna be pre-populated based on a previous year, and then they're gonna make notes based on what they think they need, or if they want adjustments.
Okay. Be kind of cool if we could look at them side by side, if we had,
Yeah.
to see what adjustments they're recommending.
Okay, let's see, so you want on January 27th, I can send those to council again, maybe just like an email to all of you guys.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
well
so
as
we're in
copy.
on the process, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely do that, not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner.
Yes.
Motion carried. Back to you.
Okay, I feel like I'm talking a lot again. I don't like that. Okay, so the smart boards. I'm weird and I don't like to jump the gun on anything if I don't fully understand something. And I guess I don't fully understand what our usages are going to be for said smart boards. So I kind of sent out some questions just asking like what exactly we want so I can get with IT and make sure that we get exactly what we need instead of like getting something and not being what we need. So I apologize that this is taking a while. I like to do research on things like that. And so that's what this is. So I just have a few questions that I have for council. The first one is, do we want the ability to write/draw on the board?
Yes.
And then, do we need to get two, or do we think that one would satisfy our need if we got it on a cart? Because we can fit a 75-inch on a cart. This could be a little bit of a savings in funds, and we could have it in there, and then if we needed to put it upstairs, we could get it into the elevator, transport it upstairs. A 75-inch would be able to do that, but if we moved up to an 86-inch, it would not be able to do that. Plus, an 86-inch would be hard to fit in that room, and it would definitely not fit in the elevator.
I'm open to perspective here. I think, from my experience, I don't think we're we're often redundant in the conference room use, meaning like, would there ever be a world, I guess is the question, where we would use both conference rooms at the same time with these screens required?
I don't want to say never, but I would say it's very, very rare.
I agree with that. And just for background, council, we had already approved funding for these smart boards, right? So appreciate you, Amy. We had talked about it. I said, why don't you just bring it back to council for discussion around like specifics? So I think a couple of the needs, from my experience, right? Right now, we do not have any TVs in these conference rooms or projection capability or note-taking electronically. So we need technology, which is why we approved this in the first place. I would be okay with thinking about one if cost is a concern, because obviously it reduces the cost in half. And I don't have any issue with going up and down the elevator if we don't feel like we're gonna need both conference rooms at the same time with that capability. So I guess that's a discussion for council, but even if we started with one, right?
Yeah, if
then
we
we could
start with-
always escalate it to two if we needed to. To me, one's pretty logical right now unless we feel we need both.
Yeah, I think one's a good starting.
I think we're fine with one.
Agreed. So why don't we do that, Amy, which then narrows you down to 75 inches.
Okay, yeah, because that way it can transport between the two.
Yep.
And the cart.
Yeah, the cart, yeah. And
Yeah.
then the video conference, yes, I think that's crucial. We've
Okay.
been left, like I've had to use my phone
That
or
was a
my
big-
own laptop, so
Big
yes.
question, because we have to get the added items to do the video conferencing, because that's not something that's just with said smartboard.
Agreed.
Which I guess that's kind of what was kind of hanging me up a little bit, because I'm like, I swear they said video conferencing, so.
To me, it's critical, and I've used a lot of them that have like the ability to video detect, so they
Yeah.
can pick up audio and
It'll-
motion. So like it'll put the focus on the individual speaking versus the wide angle room.
Yeah,
So please, I would say pursue that unless council has any other.
Does that include the Panicast?
yes, that's the,
That's in the
that's the
package then?
one that would, there's two different ones. One has a sound bar,
Right.
and I think that's not the one with the sound bar. The other one has a sound bar, and they both will kind of focus around the room. It was even suggested that we could visit another city if we wanted to see it working, because a couple other cities have it that our IT has done for them. So, but I just wanted to make sure that,
An extra 750
yes.
for that.
Yes. But we are also saving if we only get one board, and we did approve it up to
I
$7,000.
agree. Yep.
I think that's essential. To your last point around, does it need to have Windows and its own laptop? I think Mike, I think you need to weigh in here, or any other parties, because one of the needs we have, right, is not only for any sort of meeting that takes place, but for the infrastructure stuff,
Yeah.
right? We had talked about like the need to have file management, real-time note-taking, access to the other systems that we use for that. So Windows, the advantages you get I'm assuming, right, Word and all the other packages.
Yep, there is advantages, but you also have to pay for a license for every Windows that we have.
So the question is, do we need Windows or not, Mike? And I don't know if it's a question you have answer, or any other parties.
I mean, we do have to have a license for every single one, but my recommendation, I think, due to the fact that the only other media laptop we have is the one in here, and sometimes that doesn't even work very good when Katie and I are trying to like put stuff on it, I would recommend it, but I wanted to check with everybody else to see if that's what they would like as well.
With the Windows stuff, could you upgrade that at a later time, or is that?
I could
required?
upgrade Windows at a later time and just get the laptop, but it's just kind of like, do we want a laptop with it? Do we want to just take like mine or Mike's or whoever's and hook it up to it so that we can see it? Because if we don't have something hooked up to it, we're gonna have to take a computer and put it up to it every time we need to use it. It's not gonna function without a PC.
And we don't have an extra laptop we could use at this time.
Not at this time, no.
Well, I think, in short, I don't know, council, please weigh in. At this time, it sounds like the Windows question and the laptop question could be answered later, right? Meaning you could order the board, get that rolling.
I
We could
could.
so maybe, I don't know, unless we need to do more research or somebody has definitive guidance here today, I don't know if we can really answer that one. It sounds like we need it potentially, but maybe we can look into that, so Mike and team, like, see what you need from a Windows capability, and obviously it'd be nice to have a laptop to run off of, right, versus our own computers or phones.
Yeah.
Council, any perspective here?
I would say let's order the boards and weigh the considerations on the laptop.
There you go.
Okay.
Any other perspective, council? Mike, department heads especially, beyond council, maybe you can just put some thought into that and what you need to be successful. I don't want to make the investment if we're not going to use it to its potential. So if you need a Windows or you need a laptop, let's talk about it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm dragging my feet, because I want to make sure that we get everything that we need, and we don't have something, and it's just basically a hunk of junk.
Well, right now you got a savings on 2 versus 1 boards.
Yes.
And you got direction on the board, and then the
Yep.
other stuff we can,
The video conference we're going to get with it, and we definitely want a smart board, so we'll get the smart board, the cart, the screen, as well as the video conference.
amazing. Any other questions for Amy, or any questions for Amy? Anything else on your end?
Nope, I've just been pretty busy getting all of my reporting done, so I apologize. It's been kind of a little bit crazy in my office right now. Anybody who walks in can see how chaotic it is in there.
Thanks for all you're doing.
So that is all I have.
We're sending love to you and the family.
Yep.
Mike's taken care of? Okay.
If no other questions or comments, we'll turn over to our interim director of public safety, Bullard.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Since the last meeting, the police department responded for 29 calls for service, 1 incident report, 0 arrests, 1 traffic citation, and 3 Detective Bureau investigations. The Gibraltar Goodfellows would like to thank the Gibraltar residents for their kind donations so far this year. We've taken in, or the Gibraltar Goodfellows has taken in $9,750 and have assisted 54 families so far this year. Upcoming news, the DPW installed 4 no parking sign on the city easement of the corner of Middle Gibraltar and North Gibraltar, per the approved traffic control order at the last council meeting. The police department took delivery of the new 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe. The decals will be affixed on it this Wednesday, and it will be put into service. Taser training was conducted at the Gibraltar Police Department on 12/10, and all police officers qualified. Also, CPR training was conducted at the station by Rockwood Chief Mercure, and 6 employees attended and received their certificates. I would like to request a motion. I received an email from City Administrator Blackburn this morning that there's an open seat on the 33rd District Court Council. There's obviously 1 representative from the City of Gibraltar, and then there's a backup. With Councilman Cosmore no longer with us, I did reach out to Councilman Valentine today. He is our backup.
Yeah.
I think he'd do a great job. I'll leave that up to council. He did show some interest in the position. I also spoke with Amy Zawacki with the 33rd District Court, and it's recommended that a councilman or mayor sit in one of these seats. So if council would do so to make a motion to appoint 1 councilman and then 1 backup for the 33rd District Court Council.
I'll make a motion to appoint Councilman Valentine to the position.
Love it. Is there a second?
Second that.
Second by McNabb. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
That's for the
33rd.
representative.
That's correct.
And then we'll do a separate one for the backup.
Correct.
Okay. Valentine?
Abstain.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you, Councilman Valentine, and thank you for raising that.
Also like to motion, or request a motion for a backup for Councilman Valentine for the 33rd District Court representative. Basically, I guess I should have given some more information. It's 2 meetings a year. Currently, the 33rd District Court employees are trying to come up with a resolution or close their contract. And they wanted, obviously, correspondence from the City of Gibraltar. Also, they discuss purchases and upgrades with the court. So, a little background.
Yeah, you mentioned it has to be mayor or council member.
That's correct.
Is it a has to be, or could somebody like yourself serve?
It's
as that?
recommended by Amy Zawacki with 33rd District Court.
I make a motion to appoint Councilman Cox as the backup to the 33rd District Court.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Councilman Cox, are you on board with that appointment?
Sure.
All right. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Abstain.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Thank you both for your service in the 33rd District Court. Back to you.
I do have two action items. Action item A in your packets. I'm requesting the surplus of the 2012 Ford Fusion, which is currently our detective's vehicle, and it's at the end of its service life. The City of Gibraltar obviously has signed an agreement with Enterprise. A new detective vehicle was ordered and is in stock and being equipped with emergency equipment at Priority One Emergency in Belleville. We expect delivery of this new vehicle January of 2025. The 2012 Ford Fusion will be sold by Enterprise, and the profits from the vehicle will be utilized towards the lease of the vehicle.
Looking for a motion?
I'll make that motion.
McNabb, motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cox. Any discussion?
Is the motion for the surplus? Okay,
Surplus of the
vehicle.
2012 Ford Fusion.
2012 Ford Fusion.
got it. Yeah, okay, no questions.
All right, any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Cox,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Back to you.
My second action item B, is the purchase of 3 in-car computer keyboards. The purchase of the in-car computer keyboards will be purchased with the Bernie Grant funds in the amount of $980.97. Currently, the 2 in-car keyboards in patrol vehicles 15-3 and 15-2 are at the end of the service life. We obviously just received our brand-new vehicle, and we're going to be putting in a 3rd computer in this vehicle, hence the 3 keyboards. Obviously, just a little background, the Bernie Grant we received from the Downriver Community Conference. Currently, we have $27,124.43 left.
That's great.
Motion to purchase the 3 in-car computer keyboards.
Motion by Valentine. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any further discussion on the keyboards? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. Back to you.
I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and that's the end of my report.
Appreciate you. At this time, any questions for Interim Director of Public Safety Bullard? We'll turn over to Fire Chief Kane.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you know, I've been off for a month, so I'm back to work now. Since the last council meeting, the fire department responded to 7 total calls. 7 of them were rescues. There were no fires, no mutual aids, or no auto aids. Last Thursday, I received or hired a new firefighter. He had put an application in roughly about a month and a half ago. When we went through all the process, he is a fully licensed EMT and firefighter. So he is on the ground running already. And that concludes my report.
Fantastic. Thank you for his service, and thank you for the updates. Any questions for Fire Chief Kane? Great. With that, we will turn over to our unfinished business. As referenced by our city attorney, we have 1 item there, and Mike, I'll turn over the floor to you.
Under unfinished business is, and this in your pack is not the one that we have, but it's a 3-month extension for WCA to do our assessing services. Because under direction of council last meeting, you guys had wanted me to go out for RFP. So this is just to tie us over so that our assessing services are still continuing while that process happens. and you will probably see something at the first meeting in January to authorize me to go out for RFP for the new assessing services.
Great. So you'll need a motion to not approve the one that's in our packet, but a motion to
Approve the
approve.
three.
Motion to approve the 3-month extension to WCA assessing based on the separate attachment we received via email.
Very articulate. I appreciate that. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Molnar. Any further discussion? Thanks for pursuing that extension and the associated RFP to come. Katie, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. Anything else on that item?
Nope, that's it.
If not, we do not have any new business this evening. No tabled and referred items. So at this time, we would love to turn over to our public comment. Should any members of the public that wish to address council, please approach the podium and make sure that light is green and state your name and address.
Howdy, folks. Cody Dill, 13221 Leslie. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, Councilman Valentine, being backdoored for a second time in 3 months. It's a pretty good record, unfortunately. I do have a couple questions for you guys today. Today marks day 46 since the departure of Rick Tangway. Has any disciplinary action been taken concerning the time card / credit card theft situation? Next question, has the city of Gibraltar attempted to settle the lawsuit with Rick Tangway in any way? Thank you guys, have a good night.
Thank you. Is there any further comment from our public? If so, make sure you state that name, address, and make sure that light is green for me.
It is green. Tim Garrett, 30624 Bayview. So I came in, my wife came in here on Friday and scheduled a meeting to talk to the mayor. We had a quick conversation with Katie about some miscommunication on some reports. After the meeting, it was funny, you know, we had some questions and clarity on some of this craziness going on. Later that night, my wife gets a private message from a former mayor about being appointed at city council. And then later that night, I was pinged on social media by a former councilman about being appointed on the council. So it seems to me that somebody in the office here is kind of trying to stir up more drama. I think we have enough in the city, don't you think? I would think the employees of the city need to concentrate on making things better and improving things instead of trying to stir up more drama for everybody. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. And I think it's not in the best interest of the city for city employees to be doing that. So I thought it was very strange. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
Thank you. Please, can we keep it respectful? Please. Is there any further member of public that would like to address council this evening? Okay, that will close our public comment, and council will be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Katie, please call roll.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine? Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Happy holidays to you and your families, and thank you so much for a great 24, and we look forward to seeing you next year.